Hey guys, Bolt here with SB Studios. We're here, as the title suggests, what is going to be the future of Slender. So, I think it's been about 10 years since Slender has came out. We just got our 10-year anniversary edition. We are getting, in the next, I think it's 5 months. In the next 5 months, we are getting uh, two or three more new levels. We're getting a multiplayer. We're getting new story extensions. We're getting a lot of new content for Slender: The Arrival. So I'm gonna go over what can Slender do for those two or three new chapters, on top of what I think could be a multiplayer. And then I also have ideas for what could happen. So basically, to give you a little backstory of why Slender isn't been in the talks and all that. So basically, I think it was 2013, 2014 was when The Arrival came, and it had talks of a sequel, but then we had people who got too obsessed with the idea, especially having a poor girl get lured into the woods, and I think she got stabbed. And basically, two girls were trying to be his proxies, and luckily the girl lived, but it basically gave parents and other people like, hey, this figure is getting in the heads of our youth, and it needs to be taken down now. I think it's just because it had such a build and it had such an audience behind it that reality and like there was I found Slender. Hey, here's some found footage of Slender, and there was also things like the rig and all that. But I think people were getting confused of the two. Just here's a bunch of games and pictures and videos that show him, and then young minds believe more. They can be tricked. So sadly, the downfall of Slender is like, hey, we can't have this keep coming out, or we need to restrict it a lot. So, like, the youth doesn't, well, not just the youth, but anyone doesn't get this obsession again. Um, and it completely, like, just the bottom fell out of Slender's fandom. People still liked Slender. I've drew a few pictures since then, but it is just now getting something new. With the 10-year anniversary of Slender: The Arrival, it gives us hope to get more content. So if you guys can remember back to like the golden days, like the golden era of Markiplier, that right there was like bunch of stuff came out. There was the original Slender, the 8 pages. Then there was the Slender Shadow, which was like a bunch of maps of like a maze and this and that and a hospital and all that. So we got a bunch of different settings with different things for him to collect and for you to do. We had a few things like Slender Retro I've played before. But there were so many different games coming out, and then Slender: The Arrival was the guy who made Slender: The 8 pages, and he was like, "This is such big. I want to do the community a favor and do a big I think it would be AAA game." And it may have been a like small 2-hour game, but it was amazing for its time. It rivaled things like the Among the Sleep and Five Nights at Freddy's. But with the news of that in the ball coming out, there was no one. I don't think anyone felt like anything they would release would have any traction because of the bad juju that happened recently. So it's like now that we've been 10 years since or more, let's celebrate this game that had it had a bookmark in our history of gaming. Let's do a little update, little release, and do some new stuff for the community. So, going to Slender: The Arrival. Slender: The Arrival, I believe, I'm happy that you can still return to the old version because there are a few things that I will have to say. Um, I am here and there with Slender's new model. I like the red tie getting added because that's kind of my interpretation of it. Like before, it was just a white shirt and black coat. So it feels a little bit more like Slender that I know. So the graphics are amazing. You know, there's more detail, there's more atmosphere, and oh, dude, the Charlie going into the forest to get captured by Slender. That was so amazing. The lighting and all that. The only thing was, I think it made it a little too detailed and made it some functions a little worse. Like finding some of the pages was a little bit harder. Like oh, I remember during my playthrough of it recently on Bolt Entertainment, I had missed a page because it was so well in the background. I thought it was a poster in the in like the beginning of the park. You know, where you'd see a map and all that. I didn't see it because it joined in. But yeah, it's just like the production was so much better. And then I think I said this in the middle of my gameplay, but not Laura, Kate, her model, like her chaser model was so much better, but her like when she goes to pick up the camera to go lock all the doors and windows, it changed a little bit because I don't think we were supposed to see it too much. So I really wished a lot of our characters had a little bit more of a model, but we don't get to see Laura. We don't get to see a CR except for when he got burnt, or his feet when he was running away from Charlie. But that was amazing. Another big thing that I really liked was the Nightmare level. The Nightmare level is the new DLC that basically is an extra level, and to get this is right after you do the CR level and the Kate level, you know, putting in the tapes to see what happened with them. You come out and you start going towards the teddy bear where you find the teddy bear of Charlie, and you play the Charlie level. To the right up a hill is a new building that I missed during my normal gameplay, and I complained about it a little bit, but when you're not really looking to explore for a whole new building in an environment that's a little bit bigger than normal, it's kind of hard to find. But it is nice to see that this has got a little bit of story back to it, because now that you go into CR, it's going to be a little bit of summary, but, well, not CR, I keep saying CR. I think it is Charles, the father of Charlie, because Charlie Mathis Jr., so Charles. We play as him. His wife either left him or died at some point, and he got obsessed with finding out what happened to his son, and basically he's kind of like stuck in this time of like happy family, and then Slender like starts messing with him. Like in the beginning of the game, he thinks he sees Charlie, which is he does probably see Charlie here, but then Slender comes in and says, "All right, welcome to my realm." He gets thrown into what was in the Slender Shadows gameplay, which was known as Slender Hospice, if I remember correctly. It was a hospital level where you went around and collected, I think, those pages still, but having a pre-existing idea come in made nostalgia come back, and then having him go through this building and figure out that basically I think the story of this new hospital that we're showing was that there was research getting done to the victims of Slender. You know, the people who went insane and the people who died. They found them, and like there was liquid, like a black liquid. So they were doing research and trying to find out how this stuff operates. And the doctor, I forgot what his name is, but he eventually died in the middle of his research, and things kind of went to chaos after that. Um, so it's just like seeing more backstory, that there's more people than just CR and Kate who by in their childhood ran across him, or experienced Slender sickness. Um, that there's more people out in the world. That is a big thing that I can see in the rest of the DLC, is that we're going to start learning more backstory. Um, so, oh, and then to finish off Charles's story, basically he's able to. Um, Charlie does come for his father a few times, which actually that one time that you're actually in danger is when you're in the first vent, and that it's scary when you don't know. I've watched a video about it trying to find out, and I was like, okay, where should I be careful? And that was the only time you're supposed to be careful, because the other time is in the water level, but you get bounced back to the beginning if you get caught. So I just ran. But it is a good atmosphere. It gives you backstory. It gives you a chance of another character, and gives a reason of what happened. I know for sure at least one of the other DLCs has to be the extension of Charles' story. I believe people think he died at the end of that one. For what I saw is that he was getting told by an outside force that fire is a way to... There's a way to beat Slender with fire. And I believe there's a build up to Charles trying to put an end to Slender, or at least, cut off the chain. So right now, if you've seen, I think it's not Marble Hornets, but there was a documentary version of Slender. It was Always Watching. If you watch that, you would kind of see that once you've seen any kind of media or anything with him, is he got more interested in you. He's still screwed with you even at a small level. You saw one little picture of him, you would have a little knowledge of him, he'd come for you. You get travel by mouth. Like, hey, I've seen this weird guy, or I have this weird experience. He'd come for you. So it's kind of like a ring. I think it is a ring, where people would learn about it, and it would actually start a little curse of this person knew. It's kind of like a smile dog, where it's just you send it to this person, that person knows now there's a curse if they don't do this. So I think Charles is either going to try to stop Slender or completely stop the chain, where he's going to, take out the entire forest of where Slender lives, so no one's going to be near him. He's going to make it to where people who know about Slender is going to kind of team up, and they're going to try to they're going to pull a CR. Anyways, I think we're going to get a second one where either we're going to see the demise of Charles, or he might be further in the future, or there is a talk of Slender the Arrival 2, and we might just see him, be able to extend the story, or it might be a prequel. And then my other thing would be for another DLC is you can actually do a prequel, or like have a side-by-side story of Kate and CR. Kate and CR, it is, I think from what I'm reading in between the lines of all the notes, is it looks like during Laura's investigation to find Kate, that basically, until the Abyss, which is that mining level, until then, Kate and CR were trying to, get a move on their plan to take down Slender, and it looks like everything was going fine. I think Kate was doing the Genesis level, and she got caught at the end of it, and that's where she became the Chaser. So I think as a timeline, because it looks like CR and Kate by the fire, like the ending where you go in, it looks like the fire was more recently done. So I believe that there's a pretty small window there. So I think there should be a side by story telling their story. So tell one about CR going and trying to find Kate and do this and do that, and then the second one should be showing Kate basically having trouble handling it, and then kind of the lead up to Genesis or whenever she got caught. And then let's see. I don't think we know full story about what happened to Charles' wife or Charlie's mom. We might be able to have a little side story there about Slender getting to her too. But I think that's it. Or I think Kate's mom. She was a small part of it, but it's like her death made it to where Kate was trying to uphold it, but with the trauma of Slender, she wanted to sell it. So it's kind of like, I believe it was a small window of just like mom died, so now I just want to get rid of it so I don't have to remember it. So I think maybe Kate's mom might have some Slender story you could do there. I personally wouldn't want to. So I think it's a sequel to Charles' story, Charles' wife, a side-by story of CR and Laura. Another big thing that is very possible, we don't know, is maybe we have Laura survives Slender the Arrival. So the last thing we see of Laura is her camera dying and she gets mauled by Kate. It's very possible that Kate was trying to make her a proxy, so she may have knocked her out, pulled her aside, and there could be the Slender mind games, basically, where it's just like Laura has to kind of try to last as long as possible to avoid that. And it would be amazing for, a sequel as well, have Charles and Laura help each other to kind of finish it up. So there's a little skeleton crew of people to fight now. Or that'd be another good DLC or a sequel, is Laura actually having to put down Kate, because even though Slender might get put down, and then you can also put Charlie down too. With Charlie and Kate out there, just Slender being put down and put back, it won't stop it fully. So you have to take down the proxies and then take him down. And then you can make a third Slender by saying that there's more proxies out there. But I believe for my biggest thing that I really like, so of all these people in this sequel idea, I want what you did with Charles's first story, which is, put him in a previous like fandom game, which was the Slender Shadows with Slender Hospice. I think, let's say, if Charlie's mom got a level, put her in the Slender school, where there was people, there was kids that Slender actually got to. And have the cries of the kids that he preys on in the background, making it a lot creepier. And because the reason why I put Charlie's mom in this setting is because she likes her kids, so having the idea of children also. Or you can also do that with Kate's mom. Or you could do a mind game kind of setting where you're in, I think it's Slender Memories, where you have to go around finding memories in like a lodge. That'd be pretty cool for Laura to do, kind of fight off with memories of her own, just like, hey, I am this person. Or you could do that for Kate too, during Kate's story to Insanity to be the chaser is have her do the memories. Um, you could do a little. There was a like in the middle of all the problem. It didn't come. It got reviewed over on YouTube, but it was kind of trying to be a Slender the Arrival. You could have CR do a more exploration of the woods side of things, because I don't think we've seen all the park. Because I've only seen a mine, Genesis, the 8 pages, and we've seen the hilltop. So I believe there's probably a little bit more space on that map to do something with. Actually, let me go look up Markiplier's playlist real quick, because he did a lot of those games. But while I'm looking this up, you could also do I'm not on my parents. For Slender Elementary was the one I was looking for the kids. It would be a good idea for other people to start doing this. Now that Slender's back and kind of in the limelight, other people can start doing this, because it is a mythos that is kind of to the community. And as long as you don't copy someone completely, you can do stuff. So I believe other people can start building on this, and you can make yourself other games, and you can make it where you bring in the other proxies. I still want a Hoodie, a Masky, what's the other one? Oh, the Sanatorium, I think oh no, what's Hospice? No, Hospice is the hospital. What's the Sanatorium? Oh, Sanatorium is very close to Hospice. So Sanatorium and Hospice were done with Charlie. Anyways, go make your own other locations. Go make your other characters' stories. Go do stuff that actually came from the original mythos or other people's stories. Do some of the proxies. Do a Slender Proxies game. That would probably go up higher than any Slender, because actually some of the Slender proxies went off. I think some people's talked about it, but I think the Hoodie and Masky were other creepypastas that were just thrown in as creepypastas but Tinky Toby for sure. Tinky Toby would get you so many people, so many eyes. Mansion was the other one about memories. That would be nice. But yeah, claustrophobia, 7th Street. I think 7th Street's basically retro. That'd be amazing. Prison. I'm trying to think who would be a good prison. Maybe you could do CR doing another documentary of, hey, this was someone who, had maybe a run-in with this kind of entity. But yeah, you could totally do a lot of stuff here, man. Make another family go out to Cabin in the Woods. Do a Christmas special with Slender Santa. Oh, Mark would jump on that. I believe he would. I don't want to talk him up, but Adrift is the one I was thinking of, the explore a bigger part of the map. But anyways, so basically what I think is other characters. Some of the other characters we need to explain what they did in between before Slender, or there's that side story. But anyways, that's it. I have to finish up another 2 videos, I think. I could probably do, yeah. I can do probably another 2 videos before. I need to do a Danger on Deception Island for Wednesday, and then I need to do another video for Friday. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.